If you could enlarge one thing about your body, what would you embiggen? Conversely, if you could ensmallen one thing about your body, what would you debigulate? I would make my legs super short and arms super big so I can knuckle around like a gorilla. Shrink, probably my stomach. Way too much fat. I would enlarge my brain. Smaller ears and bigger boobs. Like triple Zs. I figure they all make good conversation starters. Since I'm a guy, I would increase the size of two of my hairs to about ½ inch in radius on either side of my head, so I can grow shape cut and regrow horns. I would make my skull smaller and my brain larger so I can finally fucking die. I would ensmallificate my weight by about 30 pounds. Bigger boobs but not by much. Smaller nose, but never really felt like I had a particularly big one. I just am jealous of all the pretty actresses with cute noses. IDK. I would enlarge my penis to a full 2 inches, and shrink my stomach so I can see it. Solid question. Embiggen muscles, ensmallen belly. Shrink my nipples, enlarge my hair. I'ma sell that shit for a few grand. I'd shrink my tonsils to nothingness. Debigulate is now my new favorite not real word. Also, I like myself the way I am. I wouldn't change anything. Enlarge my penis, shrink my adipose tissue. Body, IDK, but after reading this I must embiggen my vocabulary. Enlarge my penis, shrink my tits. I would just scale up the whole thing and debigulate my ego. I'd make my right leg the size of an elephant. Uncomfortable, yeah, but I'd join a circus and make bank, and then buy tons and tons of Fritos. Embiggen my right eye and debigulate my left eye, just for the lulz. I've never thought about it, but I think it's a perfectly cromulent question. I'd make myself tall enough to where people don't feel the need to use my head as an armrest. I'd shrink my thighs because quarantine really did me dirty with all the extra weight I put on. Large dick, small balls. Enlarge my femur, so I'm taller, and then ensmallen my boobs, so I can wear those cute tops and dresses without looking like I'm working a corner. Embiggen my short fingers, debigulate my heart's sad face. Bigger heart, smaller ego. Smaller boobs, that's it. Cheekbones, I'm lacking facial definition. Shrinkalize my gut. Enlarge the mouth and the stomach. Then go to a buffet restaurant. Suck them all like a vacuum. I have some huge ears, so making them even bigger would be epic. IWAMT snallafimguts. Wider hips and smaller shoulders, chest area. Not by a ridiculous amount, but definitely whatever amount would be enough to give off a different impression. I can't believe this is even a real question. I'd of course would enlarge my penis. I'm 14 years old and still going. fuller, larger, rounder ass. I'd debigulate my boobs. Having size G honkers on a 5 feet 3 inches frame is painful for a girl such as myself. I'd embiggen my height. I hate having to ask for help to reach things on high shelves. I would become bigger stickies. Bigger hips, smaller waist, pretty much the biggest barrier to transitioning in my mind. I would ensmallen my feet, they are too wide lol. Embiggen my mouth, ensmallen my eyes. But only a little. Wiener right foot, slightly. I love your creative words, good luck on all your travels. I would debigulate my fat cells for sure. Nothing needs enlarging, that's for sure. Big ol' dick, little ass. I'd probably make my boobs smaller. They sweat all the time and are really just a pain. I'm fine with my dick though it gets the job done. I'd make my hair longer so I can tie it back, and I'd make my fat cells smaller. Oh man, I definitely would make me higher and my head smaller. Imagine being short with a huge head. Also some CMS to my penis. Obvious answer. I would shrink my massive cock down to just barely 18 inches. Embiggen my hands. I have horrible little Trump hands, and as a lesbian that's essentially like having a micro-penis. Bigger boobs cause I'm a guy and it'd funny. Enlarge my penis. Shrink my tits. Explanation: I am a trans guy. Enlarge my boobs and shrink my height. Embiggen muscle, debigulate boobs because they're actually moves. Sad face. I'd shrink my nose and then enlarge this jawline. Bigger booty, smaller nose. Bigger muscle mass and a little smaller hands. I'd like to be about 6 inches taller. Shrink fat. Increase hair, eyes. Embiggen my head to a cartoonishly large size. Shrink my feet. Ensmallen ears just a touch. Embiggen feet just a scooch. They're kind of an annoying between size. Bigger lungs. Embiggen my hair strands. I want stronger, thicker hair. I would ensmallen my upper arm circumference. Larger penis, but not by much. Smaller visceral fat under my abdominal muscles. Bigger lungs, smaller ass. Debigulate my stomach. I'm cool keeping the donk though. Small hands, and if it's required as well I'd make my eyes bigger. I want a small nose and longer legs, that would be a dream TT. Eyes and thighs. My noble spirit, I think it embiggins the smallest man. These are both perfectly cromulent words. I'd enlarge my height by 2 inches and smallen my nose a tiny bit. Probably drop my feet a size. There is a significantly wider range of size 11 shoes compared to size 12s. Whatever needed to look like Brad Pitt. Consider maybe using easy English first. Well, if you've ever wanted to look like a Roman statue, shrink your dick down to the size of an earthworm, and pump your balls up like 2 baseballs. I would embigulate my boogaboo tube and debigulate by gutter hang. If someone says, smaller pussy, is that a larger pussy with a smaller hole or a smaller pussy with a larger hole? Make myself taller, loudly crying in 5 feet 2 inches, but this is short for my school where girls average in at 5 feet 11 inches. Shrink my arms, legs, belly, boobs. Enlarge my hair. XD, not in an 80s way, but make it thicker and more full. Also my height, just like 3 inches. I think 5 feet 5 inches would be good. Less adipose tissue, or fat, larger not sure, maybe penis height, or muscle mass. I'd enlarge my right tonsil. Make my left tonsil smaller. There. Now my tonsils are the same size. Yes, my left tonsil is just abnormally large. I would increase the size of my left leg a tiny bit so then both of my legs would be exactly equal length. Bigger eyes, smaller belly. I would shrink my neck. It's 19 inches by tailor measuring. Embiggen brain if it would mean increased capacity, ability and not some weird cranial issue or negative health issue associated with it. Debigulate nose. I'd give my entire body more mass all at once so I'd be taller but still proportioned. Then probably make my boobs just a little bit smaller. No mine, but other people's ego. I'd debigulate my ass. I got a succulent ass for a dude. A truly cromulent question. Embiggen height. Big hands. Try flying away now you goddamn mosquitoes. Debigify my cancer, for sure. Make myself a bit less fat. I'm comfortable with my height. 175 meters. And I am also very comfortable with my other parts. Unlike many other guys, nothing that really needs to get bigger on me. Smaller appetite and larger willpower. I have a flat butt so I would want to make it big enough to at least be unremarkable. Then I want to shrink my fat cells. Embiggen boobies. Debigulate tummy. I'd enlarge my body's height and decrease waist size. Don't forget to share, like and subscribe for more content.